I am very pleased with Digital Extremes right now. Remember the video wherein I featured Valkyr's new augment called Enraged? And remember when I said that the augment needs a little tweak before it will become usable? Well, Digital Extremes did tweak the augment. They have finally removed the energy drain on it, making it a noteworthy augment for a gimmicky build. Actually, not just a gimmicky build, but I'm considering Enraged now as one of the best in-slot mods for this frame. So, a quick review of the augment before we head to my Demigod Valkyr build. What Enraged does is give your Hysteria 200% bonus damage on both critical chance and damage. 2 times damage for Hysteria right now is pretty massive, and equipping Sacrificial Steel on your talons will guarantee red crits even at first hit, further boosting the insane damage of this frame. Also, when you equip this augment, Hysteria will have no energy drain. Instead, it will have a cooldown which depends on the duration you put on your build. Cooldown is equal to the length of time Hysteria was active. For example, if Hysteria was activated for 5 seconds, the cooldown will be 5 seconds. The augment is affected by ability duration, but bonus damage and critical chance are not affected by any mods. Also, you should know that the bonus damage and critical chance stack additively with mods like Pressure Point and True Steel, or its primed and umbral version respectively. Lastly, you can toggle the ability on or off, which means you are free when to use the ability, and when to toggle it off. Now that you know everything about the augment, let's proceed to the build. I highly recommend this build to Valkyr players. Not because it's something new, but because the God Mode mod setup is nowhere as powerful right now. Digital Extremes decided to remove that trick wherein we can able to stack Gladiator mod set bonus to our Exalted Claws, which makes it hard to land those red crits without this augment. So, the build goes like this, a combination of Enraged and the Eternal War augment, plus umbral mods, and a whole lot of duration. Now you might ask, why put a lot of duration when it somehow increases the downtime of Hysteria? Well, duration is not only meant for Hysteria, and do remember that we can toggle Hysteria on or off. So, even with high duration, we can override the time it's active and lessen the cooldown by simply ending the ability before it reaches its max duration. The main reason why I put primed continuity and narrow-minded on my build is for Eternal War. Do remember that this augment does scale with duration mods, and it's beneficial for this build because the time this ability could go active will go over a minute if you are constantly killing enemies. It will possibly be infinite if you are very efficient in killing enemies fast. Some of you may consider putting Transient Fortitude on Valkyr, and you can do that in this build if you somehow put an umbral former on this frame. You can just simply replace primed continuity with Transient Fortitude, boosting the effectiveness of your Warcry ability, and as well as gaining more damage boost for your Hysteria. However, the additional power strength isn't necessary at all, but only just a personal preference. This build can already rip and tear enemies apart, and if you are wondering how can I survive the downtime of Hysteria, the answer lies within these umbral mods and adaptation. When you have all umbral mods on this frame, you will gain as much as 2047 armor, which translates to 87 and 22% damage reduction. When your Warcry is active, then this build will give you approximately 89% damage reduction. And if you proc Arcane Guardian, that would give you a massive 92% damage reduction. Now that's more than enough to survive heavy hits from high-level enemies, and don't forget that we can also proc the 90% damage reduction from a certain damage type, even if we are in Hysteria with our adaptation mod. To further boost your survivability, I suggest that you use the Deku, and use its Amalgam mod. Then use any Nikano as your melee weapon. Azor, which is composed of these parts, will work also for this Valkyr build. The guaranteed lifesteal per hit given by this trick will definitely keep you alive while your Hysteria is down. The best part is, you can min-max the build of your Nikana since you don't have to worry about attack speed, as it will be given freely by Valkyr's Warcry ability. Now there are endless possibilities that you can do with your Nikana. You can go with a viral and heat build like this one, or you can tune your build depending on the faction you are facing. This is truly a solid setup, and it makes Valkyr really fun to play. Fun because you can experience playing both sides of this frame, since this is a mix of both Warcry and Hysteria, minus the annoying energy drain. If you are a Valkyr main, or just looking for a good build to use for this frame, then I highly suggest this one. It's not just meant for high-level purposes, but also as a leech killer, or even a boss killer in missions like sorties. This is now the best way to dish out red crits easy, be super tanky, and enter God mode for a couple of seconds to dismantle anything standing in your path. Now go try out this build for yourself. But before you leave, I would humbly ask that you participate in my poll if you haven't done it yet. It's a survey about the best warframes for this year, and I was hoping to get more data before I release the video next week. For those who have taken the survey, you don't need to do it again, as I want the data to be accurate. Thank you for participating, and see you in my next video. Squad leader signing off.